Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us today for another Tech Isle video blog series post. We're going to be talking more today on SMB business intelligence adoption, which is the second post that we've done within the last week on BI. These results come from a recent study that we've just finished in business intelligence, and I'm going to jump in and explain what we're looking at here on the first slide. What type of BI solution is installed or being used was the question, and we're looking at US small business from 1 to 9 employees to 50 to 99 employees, so less than 100 employees is small business, and then the mid-market companies that range from 100 to 999 employees. The Harvey balls are going to show you the relative penetration within the column, within these segments, and the darker green color shows us similarly a higher level of penetration, but we like to use the Harvey balls because they're a good way of contrasting the differences between the different groups. For example, here we can see there's an uptake at the low end for specific package solutions, drops off, and then steadily grows throughout the sample and until we end up at the overall weighted average, in this case of 35. So having kind of said that, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about this data. What we found was that, first of all, SMBs have been very quick to embrace the low-risk, high-value cloud model. And the first and top business intelligence solution used within SMBs is based on spreadsheets and databases. And we can see there's a high level of penetration starting at the very low end and moving its way through the totals all the way up to here, where we see that the weighted average is 50% of the sample is currently using those. And that's not really surprising because spreadsheets and small databases come with application suites, productivity suites already. There's not a lot of additional investment that needs to be made, or basically it's only a question of putting some time in to figure out how you want to use these to do your reporting, and the level is going to be very broad based on that. And you'll usually find people in companies that, most people know their way around a spreadsheet, at least at a basic level, and it's not uncommon to find somebody in small or medium companies that knows how to put together a small database and raises their hand to do the reporting. But what we did find to be very interesting here is, in the case of cloud-based BI solutions, that these, even though these spreadsheets and databases have been around for 25 years, essentially since the dawn of the PC era, the cloud-based BI solutions have only been around for 5 or 6 years, and they've really kind of matured over the last couple of years. And to see that they've already penetrated the market at 38% at the low end, up to 60% at the high end of the mid-market, and come in second place is really a testament to the value proposition. And it's really, frankly, pretty amazing that's already found its way into all of these accounts. The third thing that we're looking at here is business-specific packaged business intelligence solutions that you would buy in a retail store or download online or through buy a CD. And penetration is pretty high here as well. Not so much at the low end, but very solid in the mid-market. And it comes in, as I mentioned, in third place at 35% overall. Now, we didn't see a huge uptake in mobile device-based business intelligence. In fact, very low at the very small end, picking up to 25% at the top of the mid-market, with a weighted average of only 18%. But we think that's going to change for several reasons. The first is that the respondents, a third of the respondents, said that they were going to do this, that they were going to use mobile-based business intelligence applications by this year, 2012. And there's a lot of innovation happening in the market, especially on the software side for mobile-based business intelligence applications that are true business intelligence applications, not just putting up JPEGs and with no depth underneath them. That innovation is being driven by companies like Exova here in Atlanta, who are really driving this functionality and taking advantage of very fast replacement cycles in the iPad compatible market, in the tablet computer market, and the Ultrabook market, where there's going to be, we feel, plenty of headroom given that to grow these numbers very large over the next couple of years. So having said that, in terms of the type of solution that people are using, the real takeaway here is that the cloud-based BI solutions, having already managed to penetrate the market within 5 years or 6 years, is a real testament to the value proposition that they offer. And the fact that they've already overtaken the packaged applications is pretty amazing. So the next thing I want to talk about here is what are the main objectives and benefits that these customers are looking for as they implement business intelligence. The top 5 areas that we're looking at are easier access to key information, operational efficiency, improving strategic planning process, ability to make quicker decisions, and better productivity. And basically what we see here is that as you move over toward larger companies, you're going to see more diversity here in terms of the number of objectives they're looking at and the level of dimensions within those objectives, as seen by the Harvey balls and the green color. This becomes even more apparent as we move into the mid-market, where we can see very solidly within the deeper penetration of these needs and a broader base of all of these needs and objectives, and the very solid penetration of all of these. Now, another thing that we found here is that because these 5 areas in the top 3 and the top 5 are pretty common to all of them, it averages out that these are going to be the top 5 for both small and medium markets. Okay, here are my summary points here. I'm going to finish up with these. First of all, we've seen good penetration already and expect that to continue with rapid growth and penetration into all of the SMB segments, driven by increased cloud acceptance and innovations in software and hardware. That's pretty much true across the board for BI, with marketing automation and several other areas that we're looking at right now. Cloud-based BI have already penetrated the breadth of the market from over 30% in very small to almost 60% in the upper mid-market, and have already surpassed point packaged BI solutions. In terms of what they want and the objectives, the SMB users want easier access to key information, operational efficiency, improved strategic planning, quicker decision cycles, and increased productivity from their BI solutions. We also see that the breadth of the objectives is going to increase with the size, needs, and maturity of the company, with upper mid-market showing the greatest usage and variety of needs and objectives. And there was an overall theme here that I didn't really cover too much, but of operations-oriented answers on the common objectives. So these themes included productivity, quicker decisions, time to market, reduced overheads, risk management, use of evidence-based planning, and decision making. So when we look at the overall usage, again, when we see what's going on in the marketing automation space, a lot of those tools have dashboards built in, and those are turned on or configured for a lot of the respondents that we saw in that survey. So when using business intelligence, they tend to look towards operation-oriented functions rather than straight sales and marketing. So I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to come to techaisle.com, where you'll see our latest research. We've recently finished large-scale surveys in marketing automation. You'll see some posts here on marketing automation, VDI adoption trends, several countries, server virtualization adoption and trends, and what we've been talking about today, the BI. We also have overall SMB technology adoption report survey that was recently completed, and distribution channels report. When you click on any one of these, it'll open a data sheet here, a PDF that will show you which key questions were answered in the survey, the methodology, and the deliverable format. And since we've been working in market research for a very long time, we are very flexible in how we provide information to our clients. It really depends on what you need to do your plans most effectively. We're very happy to do custom cuts of the data and deliver soft copy and be pretty liberal about how we deliver that, meaning accesses it and how much customization that we're willing to do. So don't be afraid to ask us at any time if we can help you with that. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Again, see you at techaisle.com. If you have any questions or comments, please write us at inquiry@techaisle.com and check out the blog at techaisle.com blog. Thanks for your time.